You are live.
Hi, good evening, everybody. I'm the Black Fit Witch,
I'm Galactic Honey.
and we are Witches and Warlocks. And we will have Warlocks joining us. Just be patient. we, the Warlocks are always on their grind, so it's kind of hard for them to tear away. They always chasing it, but we are definitely going to have some Warlocks join the conversation with us very soon. Very, 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 very soon. But until then, Galactic Honey and myself are going to hold it down and go through these conversations about the divine connection, the divine partnership, these cosmic partnerships, what it's looking like for us on our end. And even any comments that you all have, make sure that you share it. We definitely want to go through what your cosmic partnership experience has been like and what you've been going through, because we are both learning. We're not the teachers, we're also the student, and vice versa. So we always want to learn from you all. You all can take different things from us and apply it, as we do. Even in our conversations, Galactic Honey and myself, like we take different things, apply it to what's going on with our cosmic partners. And Galactic Honey, you want to share anything about
Um,
today's conversation?
well, we felt like this topic was very important um, because we are basically sharing with you the experiences that we have experienced throughout this calling or journey with the divine masculines, right? And so part of what we want to express today about the spells and the attachments, um, how to overcome them, and basically what it means for you when you notice that there is a spell, an attachment, okay, or an attachment. Um, so I first want to start off with, I'm gonna let you talk about spells because you got a good outlook on the spells and how they have affected us. Now, I want to talk about the attachments. When I say attachments, I'm talking about um, these could be associated with inner demons. These could be associated with attachments to things. And also, it's definitely a spiritual attachment in some type of way. Um, Basically, what I've experienced with the attachments is basically one day you have this awesome relationship, looks like things are moving forward, and then all of a sudden you have you realize, like, you can, I don't know if anybody else can, but I can see them kind of step forward, and it almost like they step forward, the attachment almost kind of steps forward as um to test you in some way, which also aids in your ascension process and what you need to work on as a divine feminine. So I'm not looking at an attachment as if it's evil and it wants to go and it needs to go away. I'm looking at the attachment as this is something that is I can't say if it's wrong or if it's right. Okay, there are some attachments that are questionable, but I can't say if it's wrong or if it's right. The only thing that I can do is not react to it, um, and basically work through what's in me that is causing that attachment to show itself, if that makes sense. Um, my experience with attachments have been almost like, in some way, not in all ways, but in some way, they are helping me to understand my masculine. Not only that, but it's also helping me to understand myself and the reason why I react the way that I do, that I used to certain things when they were happening. It's almost like the trickster, if that makes sense. Um, is how I view it. And it's like it comes to play with you. I don't want to say it like you should be scared or something. I don't know how to explain it without it being so, you know, but it's like the tricks. It's like a trickster energy, almost like. And how I noticed it was through the fox energy. Okay, so the fox started showing itself over and over again. I would open up my laptop, and then all of a sudden, and I've never seen the fox come as a home screen or the wallpaper. And all of a
Hmm.
sudden, the fox started coming up every day for a whole week. And I was thinking to myself, like, what is going on? Like, that's so weird. So I started to read up on the spiritual meaning of the fox. Okay. And one of its energies is the trickster energy. Okay. But how you respond to the energy is how the energy is going to play with you, if that makes sense, when it comes to the attachments. It's
Hmm.
really not funny in the moment. And I'm not saying like they're gonna like something bad is gonna happen, or this is really a play on your emotions, on your reaction to things. This is like the lesson that you learn about um how to be non-reactive, or how to just become the observer in certain situations that play themselves out. So yeah, the fox energy is basically how I kind of view it. Um, you have attachments that are like to porn. You have attachments that are to video games. You have attachments that are to people, places, and things, right? But they're not showing up for no reason, because we have to remember that these are divine beings, right? So I can't look at him like there's something wrong with him. I have to learn how to adapt to the energy, or learn the lesson that this energy is bringing. And because it also brought in balance.
Hmm.
It was weird how it brought in so much balance, me just learning that small lesson um about this energy. It's a lighthearted energy, it's a playful energy, it's an energy that's going to test you with words, like the way the way you a person words. um it's a cunning energy as well, kind of like when it shows itself, it's almost like a little, they get a little like smirk, or I don't know how to explain it. But if you resonate, you will know exactly what I'm talking about. The energy looks like the fox. They don't even, the eyes get small. You know what I'm saying? Like they don't give you direct eye contact, right? And so these are all of the things that I have noticed with this energy, and how it helped me to get a hold of my emotions, because as divine feminines, we are supposed to be in that divine energy of receiving. Okay, nothing sneaks up on us, by nothing. I haven't had anything sneak up on me yet. Not even the death of my mama. So nothing sneaks up on us. So we are always protected. And so I had to look at this energy as if it was something different. Yeah, BDI, it will happen sometime. And so my lesson was looking at the energy, looking at it for what it was, not judging it, but observing it, and then allowing myself to receive what it was trying to show me. That felt like a battle, and I'm not gonna lie to you, because the lesson was on how I responded to things that wasn't serving me. So if my divine masculine said something that was not serving me, then, or did something, a emotion, a action, a projection, or whatever it is, what I would do was I would react like, "What's wrong? Are you okay?" Like, it was all of this overexertion of energy that I was giving to that situation, or that thing that wanted me to create it into something bigger. It's like it made me think so deeply about how we create worlds as divine beings, right?
Mm,
And it made me look at it like, oh, so you want me to create you into being by giving you the energy that you need to get
mhm,
bigger and bigger and bigger, right? So what I learned was, okay, so that doesn't serve me or him. Next, I had to get out of that mode of feeling like this is something he's trying to do to hurt me, or this is something, what I'm saying, that is something being done to me. No, it's being done for me, because it's teaching me how to respond to these different energies. We are all susceptible to energy. Okay, energies, all we can just go into work, and then all of a sudden we have the attitude of the person that we came into contact with. That energy attachment that they had now is on us, right? So as divine masculines that are very busy, always working, always on the move, right? um they are susceptible to those same energies. So as divine feminines, we have to learn how to transmute that energy into something else by not giving it any energy. If something is showing up that is not favorable, or is something that you're questioning, or is not in alignment with your divine masculine, the purpose, the journey, whatever it is, dissolve the energy that it needs to create itself, to bring itself into being. Because when you get done, if you do help to create that by giving it that energy, giving it all of your emotions, because once you give it energy, you go through a whole emotional process. Like, you go through all these different emotions, and now you have like magnified um the attachment, right? And so
mhm,
my thing is, what I learned was, don't give it no energy. Actually, don't even act like, I just look in and I just look away, because it's like you want me to create you so bad, and it just goes to show how powerful we really are, and we have no idea how powerful and how much we both need each other in that same instance. Because I've also noticed where the tables was turned, and he has dissolved plenty of attachments. Exactly. We magnify something that is not in alignment with the assignment. Exactly. um he has dissolved some attachments that I have had too, that I've picked up and have had for years and didn't even realize. And these attachments can be programs, anything. But I have watched him dissolve them by just not reacting when he was in
mhm.
his feminine energy and I was being more masculine. You know what I'm saying? So um those are my experiences and why I wanted to talk about attachments. And those also coincide with spells too.
And I feel like it's so beautiful, um, the way that the masculines, our divine masculines, have learned or just innately responds to us. Um, they know not to match energy. Like I would say, when I can be the trickster.
Mm, yes. Yes.
More times than not, I'm the trickster with my divine masculine, just to see how he gonna react. Like I'm
Yeah.
playing games,
Yeah.
and he'll know. Like I did it last week, and he said, "You just want to see how I'm gonna react," and I said, "Yes," and then I just started laughing behind his back. But it was because I'll do things just to see his response, and if he gonna respond. That attachment, in my thought process, the way that I'm looking at it is based on these past experiences I've had within other relationships that are
Mhm.
still starting to fall off of me. That
Yeah.
still, like, I'm trying to see, is he going to react like the last person did, or
They
is
do
he
that
going to
too.
do this? They
Yes,
do. And that goes into
yes.
the spells. So I would say probably this has been about 3 years ago. Yeah, I think we all do that. You're right. Um, about 3 years ago, I finally because my divine masculine was married previously, and he had been married for a number of years, very long time. And so one of the things that I wasn't voicing my opinion on how I felt because things would happen and he would refer to his ex-wife this or his ex-wife did that. He would say, oh, da, da, da. And one day I just got sick of it. And I was just like, and it happened on Valentine's Day. I was like, I'm so sick of you saying that. I just went off on him. Like everything just came out. Like all of
Mhm,
this just opened up. Like my whole
mhm.
voice was being heard. Like I couldn't, and I slammed the door in his face. When I slammed the door in his face, I went upstairs and I started vomiting clear. It was like clear liquid that started to come up. And so it wasn't, and I
You're
had
the
eaten,
throat
no
chakra.
food came out, no food
Mhm,
came out, but it was just like clear mucus that was coming out. And
mhm.
so I talked to one of my friends in Maryland. He was like, yeah, he was like, you just broke that spell. He
Yep,
said that was he said that
yep.
was all of that that came up out of you. He said, and all of that just came out. He said actually what was in him actually was connecting to me and I was
Mhm.
letting it out.
Yeah,
So that's what was going on because he still had an attachment to that connection within that marriage that they had, which is a spell within itself, which he tried to bring over into our relationship.
yeah.
And I was allowing him to do it to that certain point where I was like, fuck this, I ain't no, this stop right here. And then
Mhm.
when I did that, when I actually voiced how I felt about it, all of that like in my belly, it just came and I just was at I was just vomiting, just clear. It was just coming out,
Yeah,
just clear, just all out. And I would say from then to now, he ain't never said nothing about that again. Like that
yep.
was the day that spell was broken. That
Mhm.
was the day that that had to be released out, and it had to be brought to his awareness that you still attached to that energy that you had
Mhm.
with this past relationship. We out of that. Like we moving forward. We got to drop off this old stuff. Like you ain't finna keep coming telling me about what y'all did or what she's had or something that situation. I really don't give a fuck because
Yeah,
right now it's me and you. This is our thing. Like what y'all had is what y'all had. That's over with. That's in the past. It's a whole different timeline. Ain't got nothing to do with what we got going on right now. And when I had to voice that out, even though it didn't come out the way I wanted it to,
yeah.
later when it was like a few days later when he called me, I was able to like I had calmed down a little bit. I was able to at that point really talk to him about how I felt. And that's the thing with the cosmic partnership and the divine connection is the fact that it's not a battle or a match or I'm trying to be more powerful over you. It's not an
Yeah.
ego based connection. It's more so either myself or my divine master is going to understand where I am in that space, allow me time to kind of sift through my feelings of what's going on, kind of
Mhm.
make sense of it in my head. And then we come together when the time is right and then we have a conversation about it. He knows when it's time for us to talk about things. And then deep spiritually within me, I know when it's time to talk about things and then meet in the middle to help us ascend up because me holding it in ain't gonna work. Him holding stuff in ain't gonna work. Me having a shouting match like we would do in the 3D relationship, that don't work. Like we have to understand where is this feeling come from? Where am I pulling this energy from? Like me getting upset about this. Where is this me? Or
Yeah,
is this him? Oh, this is really him.
yeah.
But I didn't even know, like you was talking about
It's a
transmuting, I didn't
projection.
even know how to transmute that energy. It
Yeah,
transmuted out of me. The
yeah,
transmutation was the vomit.
yes,
The
yes.
transmutation was that clear liquid that came up out of me was like, okay, he tried to put this on you, like you said, he tried to project this on me, and
But
I
he
allowed
had
it for
to.
so long,
He
and
had
it
to so you could break
he
it. He
so I
had
could break
to.
it. So it
Yeah.
had to come through me to release it, to
Mhm.
let that shit go. So he could be able to let it go. So it could come to his awareness. Because sometimes we'll do things, and I've noticed this even with my masculine, that men will do things that sometimes they not even aware that they even doing it
Yep.
until we say something or we share how it makes us feel. And then they like, damn, okay. So now he's getting more into the point of, now I would say this, at this point within our connection, he knows my energy. He
Mhm.
knows if something is wrong with me. So he'll look at me in my eyes and be like, what's wrong? Are you okay? And if
Yep.
I give him a look, I can even say, yeah, I'm good. But if I give him a look and he know it's not, he'll tell me what's wrong with me without me even verbalizing it, whether it's
Yep.
face to face or on the phone. I did it over the phone before. And he was like, oh, okay, you are feeling upset because of what happened earlier today. I'm like, that, how you know? He was like, okay,
Yep.
that's a part of breaking those spells, releasing those attachments, and
Mhm.
able to allow that higher frequency to come in to just be that connection that kind of like, I say that higher frequency is kind of like that gel that starts to bring you all together even closer when
Yeah.
you let those attachments and spells go.
Yeah. It really does. Um, with the way you had to vomit that up, it just shows that was transmutation. You really
Mm-hmm.
did. It shows the many different ways in which we transmute energy. Yeah. Yeah. That's it. Yeah, it's
Mm-hmm.
true. That we are I seen a video where a lady was saying that when you put your partner on the pedestal, she was saying what the universe does is it pulls them back. So now you're on the same y'all are on the same wavelength because they have pulled that partner back, right? And
Mm-hmm.
it made so much sense to me. She was saying that when you take them off of the pedestal and you put them you
Mm-hmm.
even out the playing field because we I know I've had these conversations where I'll be like, I don't feel like I'm important to you. I don't, like you get these
Mm-hmm.
uh
Mm-hmm.
emotions that come about when they pull back energy. You get that energy of wanting to, like I don't think wanting to tell them where they're wrong and all of that. That's us putting them on the pedestal. And then there's sometimes where they do the same thing, and then I can
Mm-hmm.
tell where there's a balance in um how we are reacting to each other, or how we are
Yeah.
like it always too comes with the lesson. Just like he told you about how you had threw up, that energy that he was projecting onto you. It's almost like it's not almost like it is like they transfer it to us so that we can transmute it. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Like
Exactly.
he had to
They know that's
he,
part of the
like
womb energy.
hit you in
Exactly.
the head with it until
Mm-hmm.
you got it, like, and then it came all up, and it not only did it help him, but it also helped
Mm-hmm.
you because that's also clearing the throat chakra, opening up
Mm-hmm.
that throat chakra, your power center. It was like you took your power back, and whatever energy it was trying to bring itself into the partnership, or make
Exactly.
itself known in the partnership. Because we all know
Exactly.
spiteful energies carry weight, and they do. Um, I've been one of them. Not a spiteful thrower, but spiteful energy does like can slow you down tremendously at times.
Yeah, and I've noticed like with me, and I don't know about like other empaths and water signs or whatever, but everything hits me in the gut. like everything hits me in the gut. I don't know if that's for women in general, but it hits me in my stomach. So if something ain't right, if a person don't feel right, if the energy wrong, if it's something that I feel within the conversation not right, it hit me in my gut. And when he said that, it hit me in my gut. I could
Mhm.
feel it. I
Yeah.
felt it at that time, and I was like, I know I'm fit throw up. Not only was I so upset, but it was the fact that that energy, he unconsciously threw it into me. Like
Mhm.
his spirit man threw it into me
Yeah.
because he knew that I was womb energy and I would have to take it and release it
Yeah.
because he doesn't have a way to take it and release it. So I took it and released it. Even like the conversation I was telling you about the other day, like he has this whole thing about saying I love you because of past experiences and people blah blah. And I had to tell him, I don't give a fuck. At the end of the day, this me and you. You know, you gotta let all of that go. And all of this stuff started coming out of my mouth. I don't know, like, why you can't say it? Like, all of it just started coming out my mouth before me even just really knowing that I was saying it because my spirit, my higher self knew that it had to be said because that was another spell that had to be broken. And it was like, okay,
Yeah.
she ain't gonna do it just in her own mind. Gone, let these words come out to tell him because men are logical, they're visual, they're logical people, and you have to just put it out there for them. If you put it out there for them and tell them what it is, they'll fix it. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? But as women, we kind of like, we figure they should know or he knows me enough. And just because a man enters inside of you don't mean that he fully know you
That's true.
the way that he should. It takes him some time because he's still kind of based in the root and ego until he starts to ascend more. So
Yeah.
sharing and verbalizing what's going on is what gives him the opportunity to be like, hey, let me get on my shit. Let me change this. This is how this making her feel. So when
Yeah.
I said that, because I said, no, this me. I said, you can say it to me. I said, I don't care about it, but why you don't say it to me? I looked at Dennis, I was like, no, why you don't say, you can say it to me, like, why you don't say it to me? And that's when he said it over. He said, I love you, I love you, I love you, I love you. And I was like, okay. When he started saying it over and over and over again, that was that breaking. That was
Mhm.
breaking that spell. That was like,
Yep.
okay, I had to get it out of him. I had to get that out of him because he's going to react based on the feelings that I give to him, that he knows, okay, this is hurting her, that I'm not sharing this.
And the reason
I
why
got to
it's
get
hurting
over
you,
myself.
I'm sorry to interrupt you, but the reason why it's
No, you
hurting
good.
you is because it's hurting him. He's hurting
Mm-hmm.
himself by not releasing
Exactly.
it. The more he holds on to it, the more um he tries to suppress it. He's just gonna be like a pressure cooker, but it's gonna come out in a completely different way than the way that he really means it to come out. So that in itself, yes, they have to, the way things are done is so unorthodox. And when I was watching the movie, everything everywhere all at once, right, today, they were saying on there, that if it seems weird, do it. It's because it's not supposed, everything is not supposed to make sense. I remember going into Walmart one time. Got into Walmart, I got to shopping in about 5 minutes. I get the worst stomach ache that I'm talking about.
Mm,
I was punched over. I left my basket and I went and I was driving home and I kept saying to myself, I know I'm finna throw up. I know I'm finna throw
mm,
up. I get in the driveway. As soon as I pull in the driveway, I open the door. I'm talking about I projectiled something. So
mm-hmm,
we are doing work all the time and don't even
mm-hmm.
realize what we're doing.
Yep.
Somebody that I was supposed to be in alignment with or meet at a certain time or in space, time, place, dimension, they had something that they needed to get rid of. And so
Mm-hmm,
I took it and I felt it
mm-hmm,
exactly like you said in my gut. I felt it. I
mm-hmm,
feel it different ways, but the one that's in the gut is the strongest. It's like that
mm-hmm.
there. It because the way I projectile, I'm talking about same as you. No food, even though I had just got done eating.
Yep.
no food. All it was clear and foam. Just, and I'm talking about,
Yep.
you would
Clear
think I had sat
phone.
there and drunk a whole 2 liter soda, and then
Mm-hmm.
it had to come up or something. It
Mm-hmm.
was a whole lot of whatever that person had been carrying. I left with
Yep.
the load, and they left light as hell because I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
Whatever it was strong, and it hit me in the gut, and it made me think about what they said on um Everything Everywhere All at Once. They said it doesn't make sense. She kept doing all of these weird things, like all of these weird, she would,
Yeah.
like skip up a fly, or she, it was a lot of weird things that she would do. But if she was there and she was thinking logical and grounded, she would not have been able to carry out the mission in which she needed to carry out, because it was unorthodox. It was not your norm. So these, like,
Mm-hmm.
partnerships are not your norm. These are not the partnerships that you go in and then, they are. I've had normal partnerships. These are the most unorthodox,
Yeah.
but I have not. I have grown so fast in the years that I have been. Um, Before we were even in union, I have grown so much, and I knew I was on the fast track. My spirit told me, you on the fast track, because I would look at people and I would look at certain, videos, and I'd be like, that's not right, when they were describing, like twin flame partnership and certain things. I always had I always wanted to debate or rebuttal about it, but it ain't nobody but me. But so I'd be talking to myself like, this something ain't right about this. And it just, one, like, after fully going through the twin flame process that we talk about, after fully going through that process, once you get to, we always graduating and elevating. Once you get to the next elevation, you start, it's then everything, all those pieces and stuff that you gather start to come back to you, and you start to be like, okay, this is why I didn't agree with what she said. This is why I didn't never really like him, but I watched him anyway. You know what I'm saying? Like, it was
Mm-hmm.
weird things that I would do, but I would see how the way people, like, the way they were teaching certain things was surface level. It was
Mm-hmm.
only to the level at which they had an understanding, which doesn't make them wrong. It just,
Exactly.
yeah, it's just different. And so I had to be like, okay, so this must be a higher octave. There must be another level to this. There must be another ascension process tied to this, because it never ended. It just kept going. Even when I thought it ended, it just kept going, and the elevation um kept happening, and it was fast. And I'm talking about, in the last 5 years, a lot of us have ascended really fast when it came to learning lessons and, unlocking ourselves. Truly.
Yeah. It's I look at it, the partnership is just like self, because the partnership is self.
Yeah.
And you don't stay stagnant within your spiritual journey. Why would you stay stagnant in your spiritual journey? You always want to elevate and continue to ascend. That's the same thing when you're in partnerships. You don't want to stay in the same mundane partnerships. Like, your partnerships should always be evolving and ascending. So that's the
Yeah.
same thing. We gotta look at it like, just like you were saying, like, yeah, we can start off at the twin flame relationship. And it could be your twin flame connection that you end up evolving to a cosmic partnership, to a divine connection, and you just continue to take it up gradual states. Or it may not even be that individual, it could be somebody else, as long as you're evolving. Just like one of my favorite books by Gary Zukav is The Seat of the Soul. And in The Seat of the Soul, one of the chapters, he talks about spiritual partnerships. And in that book, like, he goes in depth about the spiritual partnerships, about how he even talks about, like, the frequency of marriage, and how that frequency of marriage is a lower frequency energy than the spiritual partnership, because he said it's
Mhm.
evolving. And he said, and he talks about himself, how he's been with his spiritual partner for so many years, but it's so free to the point that they are only connected for each other's spiritual ascension. Like the
Yes,
whole goal of being together is for both of you all to spiritually ascend. It ain't about
but it's
going to the
work.
movies and laying up and fucking and eating all day. It's
It's
really
work.
about spiritual ascension and it's work. And he said that if we evolve, he said, if my partner evolves to a point that I don't, then it's okay for my partner to leave. And then vice versa. If I evolve to a point where I ascend past the connection, then it's okay for me to keep going and evolve past this connection. Like
Mhm.
it wasn't the attachment of I have to be with you.
Yeah.
This is a whole reason why we came up with Witches and Warlocks, because it's not like the Kevin Samuels and you got to have a high value man, a high value woman. Like it's beyond that. Like we're looking at high value ascension. Like this process that we doing together ain't got nothing to do with what your bank account looking like and all that. It's what your spirit look like. How are you touching your soul? How am I
Like when
touching
your
your
higher self
soul?
come and
How
talk
are
to
we
me.
helping each other elevate?
Yes, yes, the higher self. Yo,
Yes.
it's not just it's what they talk about with high value is so surface, and
Yes.
it's a trend. You know what I'm saying? Like spiritual partnership, it, you talking about elevation spiritually, which trumps all of this. So you talking about putting you and another person um overcoming, because once if we help each other, we help many. It's not just about
Mm-hmm.
us, it's not just about them, it's not just about me, you know what I'm saying? But in my
Mm-hmm.
journey it is about me, in his journey it is about him. But
Mm-hmm.
the purpose of the union is to do the work, ascend. I have been in me and my partner, even though I have ascended, walked away because I have you get called to walk away at times. I walked away, and then he's called me back, and then all of a sudden I can see the ascension happening. It's about patience. How are you willing to be patient with your partner? Because it doesn't happen overnight. A lot of the spiritual partnerships that are coming up now, y'all are going to be on the fast track because you have people like us, and more. They're going to be more of us that are going to come out, and they're going to start talking about their experiences, because a lot of times this will make you feel like you're crazy, not just us but the outside world, because everybody wants you to follow the high value woman, certain thing. You want you to be in your soft era, and they want you to do this, your feminine era. It's all these different eras, and they make you compare your relationship, when really this relationship is meant to be different. It's meant to be unorthodox.
Exactly.
It's meant to change you, or um elevate you in a way that you can help others as well. This is this
Mm-hmm.
this will help so many people that think that they are crazy for going back and forth, or for being in those different phases that they're in. The more we talk about the things that we've gone through, the experiences that we've had, the more people are going to start coming out, and you're going to start to see how this really is affecting a lot of people. This What we learned in the past is the surface of it all. What we've been learning now is to move us forward into the next as part of the ascension process, because things are happening fast. These masculines, as of right now, are ascending faster than they were a year ago. Like we've
Oh yeah,
seen
most definitely.
massive transformations in them.
Mm-hmm.
Not saying like we're trying to transform them into what we want them to be, but no, we are helping them to transform into what they are, who they are, the divine being that they are, and which helps other masculines in the process. So it's like this chain of events that are going to be showing up and showing out. And this is just the beginning of, you know what I'm saying? The spiritual partnership is not talked about enough. I think a lot of people have it misconstrued with other things. It's kind of like been
Mm-hmm.
watered down to the lowest version of this. And a lot of people do away with it. A lot of people have given it up. A lot of people, that's why we are here, because we are finishing what other people were supposed to start.
Exactly. And just looking at it, like going back to the spells and attachments, like you'll know, we talked about this last week. First of all, you'll know when you've met your spiritual partner, like you'll know that. We also have to know that everybody has came from a 3D relationship previously in some type of way. Uh, the witch has, and so has the warlock, the divine masculine, and so has the divine feminine. The way that we go about connecting sometimes in the beginning stages, which I've seen within my partnership, is you're trying to make what you've done in the past fit the mold for what's going on in this spiritual partnership, which is also an attachment and a spell linkage too. Now, the way that we release it can always be different. Like the way that I released my past partnerships, from the guy that I dated that died in 2015 to my child's father and everybody else, is different than the way that he had to release his past marriage. And in my mind, in the beginning, that's why I'm sharing this with y'all, especially with women, you can't make him release the way that you did. Like the way that you did the work, and depending upon your ascension level now and where you are in your ascension level, may not be the same path that
Right.
he has to go through to release the spells and attachment that have been connected to him from previous relationships and things that he's done. So we have to come with a mindset, and sharing this with you because I didn't know, I had to learn along the way. But
Mhm.
sharing it is the fact that allow him, and you have to, it's kind of like what you said earlier, like I'm not gonna meet the fox with the fox energy, you know what I'm saying? Like I'm not going to meet him with this,
Not,
rah rah energy. You know what
yeah.
I'm saying? I'm not fair to be rah rah with him because I
Mhm.
understand that this is a process of him releasing this spell and attachment because he been in somebody else's womb before. Just to be honest about it, like he been
That's
engaged and going up in another womb, and whether she looks at herself as a witch or not, any woman that a man goes into their womb, I see as a witch because they have some type of spell and connection to that man. So
yes.
knowing that you're getting him, you're getting a man that has been going up inside of someone else, and men don't say it, but they get very attached to a woman, and it's hard for them to release that. So when you're taking him on, he has been in a pattern of doing things a certain way for a certain witch.
Yeah.
You're a different kind of witch.
Or
He's
many.
getting to know this witch, yeah, or many. He's getting to know, he's at some point he got to release all that off of him, so he
Mhm.
don't even understand how to, and some of that's gonna fall on you to do and transmute, and then he's learning how to release that and the sin at the same time. And for everybody it's gonna look different. For every male, he may need to be just time alone, or he may be like, hey, I just got to do this, or do that, or work, or whatever the case may be. It may not always look like what we think it should look like, but the work has to be done. But you have to come to your divine masculine with, the biggest thing is the loving energy. Like
Yeah.
I feel like no matter what it is, if you share with your complete divine feminine essence, be that divine. Don't hold divine masculine energy when you come into him. You got
Yeah.
to hold your whole divine feminine space when you come to him with that loving energy, because that's going to help usher him to an ascension to release that attachment and spell that he's had from those previous connections.
Yeah. And a lot of those connections were with witches that were manipulative and wanting to use the masculine for a puppet. You know what I'm saying? So
Mm-hmm.
um when you meet in those energies, in my experience, Um, before I knew how to fully protect myself, um, I would have I would have a girl come into my actual, and I would telepathically talking to me. Um, and at first, the reason why she would, because the thing is, once your divine masculine meets you, now those other energies that has attached themselves to him get alerted, because
Mhm.
there's something that has come in that can actually disperse them, and they know it. Um,
Mhm.
we come in and we can actually release those attachments, only when the masculine is willing to, ready for those
Yeah.
attachments to be released. They have to be in alignment with you before you even it's brought to you in a certain way. They have to be in alignment with what is going on, even if they're unconscious to it. So
Mhm.
when she would come and she would say things telepathically, I was wondering to myself, like, she can't be this strong. Thinking to myself, like, this, I must be like trying, like, how you'll make up scenarios in your mind. But these weren't scenarios. These were, you know, she would say certain words, like she would it was a little weird. But I prayed about it, and I asked for it to be shown to me where it was coming from. If it's not my divine help, where is it coming from? Because now I'm wondering, because I'm highly protected, how did she get in to even get this close? Because now I'm feeling like you're close
Mhm.
to me. You can talk to me
Mhm.
telepathically. You real motherfucking close. Okay. And you're
Mhm.
not supposed to be this close. So the reason behind how that happened was, he's been in her womb and he's been in my womb. So now we have
Mhm.
this, what they call a soul tie or whatever it is. We have these, now we're all attached to each other. So
Exactly.
me not being his girlfriend at the time, I'm thinking to myself, well, it is what it is. That ain't my man. You know what I'm saying? But when she ended up texting me, and she ended up calling me too. These are things that would never happen before.
Exactly.
Um, and it started to play itself out after I said that prayer about where it was coming from. And also with that, I learned about how my energy is now attached to her energy. So now we are just both pulling from each other. And just like she knows I'm around, I didn't know she was around, but she made herself known, because that was a
Mhm.
part of my lesson. Is she a bad person? No, I'm not saying that. But what I'm saying is, she had access to me through him. This is
Yeah.
also when I started my celibacy journey, because I started to I was like, oh, this is serious. This is now
Mhm.
serious. So once she showed herself, and then she would do things in the Fox energy where she would, they're not even in a relationship, and she would post them on Facebook. Well, I never looked at his Facebook page, but then sometime one day something just drew me to it. And then there it is, like front and center. This is how big she was wanting to make the energy, but I'm the one who helped her to manifest that big, right? Not only did I pray about it, but I also was thinking about it constantly. You know what I'm saying? I was putting all of these emotions into it, because at that time I didn't know. I didn't know that I was
Mhm.
actually giving her the power to bring herself into being like that. So, um, or make herself that known at the time, because our lives, we in two different worlds. We don't cross. So she had to cross over into my world to make herself known. Um, and so that in itself showed me that, okay, these attachments are serious. Like
Mhm.
my womb is serious. Like everything that we doing in this is serious. And so I'm not gonna lie, I just was like, I walked away from it, because I'm like, okay, I can't even think straight at this point. No wonder why I can't think straight. No wonder why, I was having all of these ups and downs, highs and lows. feeling like, being so tired to where I didn't want to like do nothing. It brought me to helped me to realize how we are really like, how we really need to cherish and protect our energy when it comes to um certain things, because you don't know like that this is what's actually going on. But the fact that I can hear is what
Yeah.
made it be very clear, and I was able to now bring the lesson in to learn the lesson and put all my puzzle pieces together. But what tripped me out was that the last thing she was able to say, because that made me completely close off my energy to it, and then I went celibate. She was like, all of a sudden, because I could feel, you know how you can feel their energy pulling you, like pulling you,
Mm-hmm.
wanting you, but she obviously he was over there, but
Yeah.
she was like, fine, bitch, you can have him. Out of nowhere, I'm driving, out of nowhere, out of nowhere. Because I had learned the lesson. Once I learned the lesson,
Mm-hmm.
he now had releases all of which he was doing, because now it's safe for him to come back. You know what I'm saying? Like he
Exactly.
feel the weight being
Mm-hmm.
lifted off of me, and now he can come back. Did he know that she probably don't even know that what type of witch she is,
No.
and that she can do those
No.
things. You know what I'm saying? So
Exactly.
it really made me like step back and look. That was one of my biggest lessons when it came to attachments and spells, and because when you having sex, you spelling too.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So
And you creating an attachment in multiple realms. Um,
mhm,
and one of the things, another conversation, well, not tonight, but I definitely want us to touch back on the celibacy route, because
mhm,
that comes up in a divine partnership too. We'll
yeah,
go deeper into that on a whole nother conversation, but you'll see that that'll be an aspect of the relationship that you'll have to do, and that's also a part of releasing the spells and attachments.
yes,
But they kind of connected in a way, like you spirit is going to tell you to not have
yes,
sex, period.
yes,
It's going to tell you not to do it, and it goes into the spells that has been done, the attachment that you have to it's some work that has to be done. First, you is really you, of what you've let into your womb, what you've done, but it's also for the other person as well. And when we have that conversation on that celibacy route, on no, because I know I went the whole route with, I told him no. At first I was doing it at times, but we're gonna go, that's gonna be another show. We're gonna talk about that because it can go deep.
yeah,
That could go deep too.
yeah,
But
because yeah,
that's
that's
big.
deep.
Yeah, that's deep. That's deep. Like, definitely gotta go talk on that. But definitely, like you said, like if she was contacting you telepathically, like y'all had already been talking telepathically, because like you said, he was in her and he was in you. You know what I'm saying? So he created that connection by pulling you all in through him. He was the
Yeah,
middle post or connector to both of you all being able to, and both of you all womb energy. So it's easy. It's like I was telling you about the time when I saw him, like, okay, who had the abortion, what was going on. And I think when I started to share with him so much that I could see, and he didn't know that I was this type of person, like
mhm,
it's funny because it's like he didn't know that I see dead people. No, but he didn't know really that was me. Like, yeah.
mhm,
So when he actually found out that, like, yeah, this some real shit. Like, she really knows some, like, she connected on a different level than most women. She ain't like most women. So especially when your divine masculine really understands who you are, and don't, that's another thing. And another thing to kind of get rid of the spells and attachments for those of you all who you're with someone and they don't know the work that you do, like, don't hide none you do. You do spells, you do magic, you do witchcraft, you do voodoo, you do Ifa, you do Yoruba, you do Kemek spirituality, you do whatever you do,
mhm,
hoodoo, whatever. Let them know. Be open with that, because more times than not, that's gonna be more of a connection for you all anyway. And
Mhm.
if it's somebody that understands that this is a real divine partnership, they gonna be drawn to learn more, and the more that they come in to where you are in your energetic space and your spiritual space, the easier and the quicker fast track it is to release these spells and attachments. Because if
Mhm.
you're not sharing what you really doing, like, that's kind of like being manipulative too. Like,
Yeah.
you don't really let this person know who you truly are. So how
Yeah.
could you even go into a divine partnership or connection to release these spells and attachments if you still are hidden? You know,
Mm.
you still not showing up for yourself and that other person. So
Yeah.
that's very key in these connections too. Like, let them know. I promise you, mine know everything. Because if you come on my house, you gonna know. So
Yep.
anybody that walk in my house, they gonna know. They see the Buddha in the front holding two sage sticks and all these symbols on the wall. They gonna know, like, she on something different. Like,
Mhm.
you ain't coming in seeing family portraits everywhere. You seeing sacred geometry on the wall.
Yeah. Owls in the corner and shit. Like, nah, like,
Okay, what is all of this? Where all these crystals and stuff? What is going on? Girl, yes. This is what we doing here.
that's definitely
Do you
important.
want to take some mushrooms with me?
I know. Just a little bit. 2.5.
Okay, just a little.
But that's important to that they do know about it, because that's another part of breaking the spells. You know, they have
Mm-hmm.
been living their life all one way or many different
Yeah.
ways, but the right way, or the way that their divine path wants them to walk. And so we letting them know what you're doing and how you're doing it. Because if you in a situation like me, I didn't come into gifts until I didn't come into like mediumship, um, um, numerology. Just I don't know. I didn't come into none of that until after I met my divine masculine. So
Mm-hmm.
his higher self would pull me into another dimension like I was thinking that I'm meditating, but all of a sudden I'm sitting in his room and I can't hear what he's saying, but his higher self is telling me like, I'm sorry, I'm sorry, I'm sorry. I'm just like, what is you sorry for? What is going on? It was like I had been on such a roller coaster. I didn't know what was going on when I was holding his energy within me in my womb.
Mm,
So his higher self kind of pulled me up, like, hold on, listen, I'm sorry.
mm,
I'm talking about he even got down
yeah.
on his knees, and I ain't still to this day have never seen him do this in real life. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So his higher self was able to pull me up into another dimension, have a conversation with me, even though I couldn't hear, but I could feel what was being said,
Mm-hmm.
and I was able to transmute and let go of certain things or certain energies. And so instead of telling him that, though, I didn't never tell him that. Because I just felt like he didn't know it really happened, because when you, if something is so and I would look at him like, like thinking like, okay, am I talking to yourself or am I talking to you? Because it would happen so often.
Mm-hmm.
These portals would open up where his higher self would make himself known. And so it would make me feel like, okay, should I tell him that I'm talking, that I like, because even the words that he would say would be more divine than, but he would come out of it and it was just like, but you just say, okay, just let me let it go. I'm just let it go. And finally I was able to put those pieces together. But I started having the dreams. And once I started having the dreams, that's
Mm-hmm.
when I was like, okay, listen, I see dead people. Um
Exactly.
I don't know how you gonna take
They
that. I do
talk to
tell
me.
them. Okay. Um no, I'm not crazy. I'm
They-
here, you know, but I just want you to know that you keep walking into my dreams. You know what I'm saying? Like you keep doing
Mm-hmm.
things that like I'm talking like sometimes I feel like I'm talking to you, then sometimes I feel like I'm talking to a higher you. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Like I had to let him know like it's something going on with this. Like either we got past lives together or like because I was trying to figure it out. I'm thinking like maybe he gonna help me figure out what the hell going on, because it was so
Mm-hmm.
energy was so strong at that time. And I'm just like, you somebody, but when I said past lives, his voice got real high. He was like, past lives. It was almost like he was thinking it too. And but I said it out loud. You get what I'm saying? I was just like,
Yeah.
so maybe he don't know. Then there'll be times I'll be like, that motherfucker know.
He know.
You
He
know
know.
exactly what's going on here.
He
This
know.
motherfucker
And
know.
they may not.
He
They
know
may
who
not
I am.
use.
I don't even know who I am. He know
Yeah.
who I am.
And they may not use the same words that we use for stuff, but they know stuff. Like I had he told me a couple of years ago, like we're kindred spirits and stuff like that. So I'm just like,
Mhm.
okay. He may not know like the proper spiritual terms which don't even matter, but he
Yeah.
know it's not like a same connection that I've had with somebody else, like this different. And
Mhm.
so yeah, like I done
And they
told
know
him
history.
yeah, I hear dead people. Dead people come to me in my dreams. I usher people over to different spirit realms. I heard little children playing in your living room and stuff. Like I've seen a man in your living room and this is what he had on. I don't know if it's your grandfather or what. I just go and tell him and he be looking like, mm-mm, go back to sleep. I'm like, no, I'm just want to let you know. Like I'm hearing children in your living room playing. I don't know what this house was built on before, but it's some children in your living room playing. And I
Mhm.
hear them. They want me to hear them. Like I don't know. So I'm just letting you know. Like, and I let him know this early on. So you know who you dealing with going in. Like this ain't no regular situation. And they not regular people. I know one of the first movies that we end up seeing that he wanted me to see was Serpent in the Rainbow. And I had never heard of Serpent in the Rainbow before. Never
I
knew
still
it was a movie. Ended up watching Serpent in the Rainbow. It's about a whole voodoo ceremony of being an invocation where this white scientist came over to, I believe it was Haiti, looking for some information, whatever, and he ended up being buried alive. They could put a spell on you where you're just stiff and you don't move. It's like you're dead, but you're really alive, and they'll bury you alive. And then he
mm,
came back too, and it was this whole. Then it was just this whole voodoo ceremony, and in the serpent and the rainbow really is um what is it what's what is it in voodoo? I can't even think of the name of the serpent in voodoo.
Black Mamba.
um
That's what it is. Oh, okay. I think we lost Dina. Let me see. I think we lost her. Oh, there we go.
okay, I'm back. It's Papa Dambala. Dambala
Okay.
Wado. Dambala Wado. So it was Papa
I said Black
Dambala.
Mamba.
But it was Papa
That's the
Dambala.
priestess, ain't it?
And it's so funny because I went out. Y'all see that
I
energy
know,
real
right?
like the motherfucker. Energy real motherfucker. Like the voodoo energy just love me. I love it too. I don't know. They they was like, it's gonna as soon as it went out, because I was getting ready to Google it, it came to my mind. I didn't even have to Google it. And the screen went out and my mind said Papa Dambala. And I was like, oh Dambala. So yeah, that's the voodoo energy. It was Papa Dambala Dambala Wado. So that's the masculine and feminine energy, the serpent and the rainbow. I don't know how deep he know. I be feeling like they know. and I ended up going to a bookstore, this used bookstore, and the book was there, Serpent and the Rainbow. And when he came over to the house, I was like, "The movie that you had me watch, I found the book for it, and it's one of the books in my house on the shelf." Serpent and the Rainbow. So I was like, I don't know if he know or his subconscious knows about our past life connection or something, but it was very weird about the Serpent and the Rainbow, that was a movie he chose, that he said he loved that movie growing up.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you
Inner
like the
child.
voodoo movie
Yeah.
on the Serpent and the Rainbow, voodoo energy. And then I end up finding that book. I was just like, okay. So things like that end up happening within the connection that is like, oh wow. Yeah, I was just getting ready to look it up.
Mm-hmm.
Dambala. Yep, Dambala. Dambala Waiter. So yep.
The
Serpent and
thing
the
about
Rainbow.
these cosmic partnerships is that if you stick around, if you release fear, if you learn to love the unknown, you know,
Yes.
um, you will discover a lot about yourself and
Mm-hmm.
about the spiritual side of relationships. Like, I don't think I could ever go back into just a regular mundane relationship. You know how they used to talk about how they be like, if you don't want to choose your twin flame, you just go, you can choose the soulmate. You know what I'm saying? And I remember
Yeah.
thinking like, who want to do that? Like, what are they doing? Why would you even say that? Like,
They
why you even
choosing
putting
not
it
to
out there like
ascend.
that?
Like you doing that, you choosing not to ascend. Like if
That's
you
what I'm
doing
saying.
that,
Like,
you
you
choosing
choosing
to
to sit
stagnate your ascension.
and you gonna get what you want. That's the
Yep.
thing about it. A lot of them
Yep.
go into these high value relationships and they end up getting
Mm-hmm.
these people, but they may be happy. Some of them, I don't know, but I read energy. And people don't be looking happy as they say. That's why they have to involve the internet and
Yep.
build they whole life in a relationship on the internet as if
Mm-hmm.
they like trying to do the work with a soulmate that they were supposed to be doing with the divine counterpart. It's a
Exactly.
little backwards. Um, and I'm hoping that a lot of you get on board with your assignments and stop running from yourself, because running from them is running from yourself. They had to learn the same lesson. Running from
Yep.
us was them running from themselves. And the more they
Mm-hmm.
did it, and the more attached I got to what I knew, instead of allowing the universe to work the magic, like you said today, just relax and let the magic happen.
Mm-hmm.
I started to realize, like, okay, this is a push and a pull energy. Okay, I get it.
Mm-hmm.
This is also a patient energy. Okay, I understand that. And this is also something that's going to help me to ascend into, because being loved. I don't think there has ever been a moment where I didn't love my masculine. It's almost like when you have a child, you remember when you first had your baby, right? Your son, right? And he's not a baby, people. Sorry. He's grown.
Girl.
I'm the one with babies. But when you had your first child, that in that moment, I recognize what love is. It's like I realized that I did not know nothing about what love was until
Mm-hmm.
my child came. It was like, damn, I've been thinking that I knew what love was, but now it was like a whole different ball game from the day that baby was in my stomach until the day it was born until now, right? The love has not changed. It has not wavered. It has not, like, it's real deal unconditional.
Mm-hmm.
And from the very first day that I met my masculine, it has been the same thing. I think I loved him from the first time seeing him, not even realizing, even just unconsciously being intrigued and like um wanting to be engulfed in his energy in some type of way. It was like to the point where I thought I was like cray cray. I'm just like, I got to be out my goddamn mind. Like, what the fuck is going on here? But it was a part of that awakening process because I was being awakened to divine
Hmm.
partnership. I had to release a whole marriage in order to come into this partnership. Um, because not only was it just time, but my marriage was not serving me or my children. So I had to, not saying that my ex-husband is a bad person, he's human. I'm saying that in order for me to do the work that I do now and the work that I do in the future, I had to come into
Hmm.
contact with my divine partner so that I can get my shit together. Like he
Exactly.
keeps me on my toes in a way that is not harsh or is not judgmental, but in a way that I just know what needs to happen in my spirit to have that type of connection with somebody. um is the most beautiful thing. It's a miracle.
It's a miracle, a miracle,
It's a miracle.
a miracle, a
A miracle.
miracle, a miracle. But it is. It's like okay, you've done this work now. You've done this work. It's almost like you've done this work by yourself. Okay. This is the work that you've been doing by yourself in this little 3D relationships that you've had. Yes, you want to be with someone. Yes, I'm going to give you someone, but it's not going to be someone the way you think it's going to be. This is how it came
Right.
to me. I'm just going to be how it came to me.
Yeah.
So it's like, okay,
Mhm.
do you want somebody, but it ain't going to be all gumdrops and roses. How you think it's going to be, Dina? This is how it's going to come to you. So it came to me as a reflection of self
Mm.
because what he shows me is what I need to do in places, even like patience. Like we talked about
Mhm.
this last week, like one of my big things is patience. I'm finally getting to a point where, and I feel like after that love spell was broken, like I broke that spell, like that helped to create more patience within me because I'm not always in my head about, well, what is he doing? What's going on? Why he ain't calling? Woo, woo, woo. All the 3D bullshit
Mhm.
because that don't even matter because I'm safe. But I
Yeah.
had to hear that for me to feel and know that I'm safe. Like knowing that your love creates safety.
It
So
does.
no matter what is going on, no matter where you are or where I am, the fact that I know you love me lets me know that I'm safe. So that creates that peace and that patience that I need not to be constantly hounding him and be on his ass because I'm up in my head about things that have been going on. So
Mhm.
there are so many different stages of him ascending but reflecting on you so you can do work that you need to do because at the end of the day I need patience, at the end of the day
Mhm.
I need patience, but it wasn't being received because I wasn't able to give it because he also had a spell on him that he couldn't say I love you. So I need patience and he can't say I love you. We both going back and forth like
Yeah.
this and this until finally that broke off. Now you're free to love and share with me and feel
Yeah.
safe. And now I feel safe because now I have patience and peace that you gave me with that. So it came together. So now we can move on to, up into the next. Like I'm even excited to see what is to come as I just sit here and just bask in the growth of the
Mhm.
connection because just having that, and even though we'll see like small things that happen, but those small things are huge in the spirit realm that
Yeah.
we are breaking off because energy attachments are real. Just like you said, not only have they been with other people, but they go to work every day. They're
Yeah.
around different types of energies. They have friends. Friends carry a certain vibration energy. So even
Yeah.
he and I had a connection, a conversation last night where we was talking about birds of a feather flock together, and I started to talk to him more about how we attract different types of energies to us. Even the conversations that we have at work with people are energies that's within you.
Yeah.
And so, he was like, well, what about, I'm connected to you and you can connect to me. What about that? I said, yeah, because it's a frequency within me that also connects to you. Doesn't mean that that's the only frequency that you have. You
Right.
still working on releasing other frequencies. So those different things will still come to you. And you have to understand. either I'm gonna stand in my space to help this person evolve, or either this person's gonna see that I'm evolved and they don't even come my way because we're not a vibrational match. I
Yeah.
said, so you'll get to that space. I said, but I said, I'm just sharing with you, steps to this. So we had that whole conversation of even releasing attachments from the energetic space of who you have around you. Because
Mm-hmm.
I'm trying to get him to understand to a point like we are ascending here, sir.
Yeah.
Like we're ascending on all levels, not just us, but the people who are around you. And if they ain't gonna ascend along with us, then you need to reevaluate these connections too.
Yeah.
So just having him aware, just simple, small conversations to help no matter, and it could be the warlock that's more advanced than the witch, or it could be the witch more advanced than the warlock. Doesn't matter,
I
but
think we
you have
like
to present it. Hmm.
we
It
just we
comes and goes. It's like a balance
the
scale. Like
balancing act.
sometimes one is up, one of them's up, one of
Yep.
them down.
Yep. With my masculine with the attachments, no, what were you just saying about? Because I threw myself.
I was talking about them being able to help us evolve as well, like them showing us that it's work that we need to do too. I was saying that.
I was about to say something. Oh, okay. So, how I found out that my masculine was releasing attachments. Um, I had a dream. We started sleeping in the same bed, which wasn't until we actually um came into union. So my dreams started being way more vivid and more frequent when he's in the bed with me because of all the energies that he picks up throughout the day.
Hmm.
And we were in the dream, we were laying in the bed, and he sleeps on the side close to the wall, but there's still like a little space there. So we're in the bed, and in the dream, we sitting in there, we laying in the bed talking to each other, and then all of a sudden I start to see people getting up from his side of the bed, from like on the floor, people just getting up and walking out the door, women, men, like just people just getting up, walking out the door. And I was like, when I woke up, and we were just in the dream, we were still like sitting in the bed laughing and joking. And when I woke up, I told him about the dream, and he was like, I didn't even think about it like this, right? I didn't even think about it in a way that those was attachments. I'm thinking to myself, like, what, like, where are these people coming from? Like, and I even in the dream, I would poke him and be like, do you see these people getting up and getting out of here? And he would just ignore it. You know what I'm saying? He'll look over there at him, he'll ignore him. And so when I told him about the dream, he was like, he said, "Yep, them all them people I'm releasing. All them people I'm not fucking with no more." So I was just like, "Huh." I said,
Hmm.
"So you releasing attachments?" He was like, "If that's what it's called, like he don't be
Exactly.
like that's what it's called, yeah." Like, okay, well, shit, okay, well, you are okay. They just showed me that he is doing the work, and it was just I'm talking about when I say this was like never ending. The people just kept getting up, and I'm looking on my side of the bed like there's nobody there, but over there it was so much because I have done so much work to um release those attachments like that. He I don't know what was it was just like he had I don't know if he just started, but it was like over a course of a few years he would talk about, nah, I'm just gonna stay to myself, I'm not gonna get myself involved, I'm not gonna answer the phone for this person, and then now having a dream, I'm like, okay, he really did release these people because I'm thinking that's what the dream was trying to show me is that he really is, he not just saying it, he really is releasing all of these attachments that he's had over. And it was so many people that it was like, you got to think about, they go to work every day. You
Hmm.
got people that's been in jail. They have
Hmm.
been in all childhood from
Hmm.
people from child. I'm talking about it was young people, old people, like it
Mm-hmm.
was it was wild.
Exactly.
I'm like, okay, yeah, he's releasing
Mm-hmm.
those um attachments that he like, and I feel like because we come into once we start to match a frequency, that's when they're able to, like, even with us, not just them, but we're able to release those attachments. We able when we come into alignment, it's like that's when you get that little break, and then it's all of a sudden like, okay, this is something else I need to work through, so
Yep.
it's like once we meet frequencies, it's like then the work now is like, okay, now we can go, what I'm saying? It's like,
Mm-hmm.
like the floodgates open up, and then they start to, all these stuff start to come out so that you can actually start to come up so that you can actually
Mm-hmm.
release it out of you. Um, which, of course, the cycles of the moon also help us do this. They aid us
Well,
in this part, because otherwise we'll still be holding on.
I know, because you just wouldn't know. It wouldn't be brought to your awareness. I would say
You
that.
don't know.
You
You
don't know.
don't know. But once you do know,
Hmm.
can't nothing know. I say that to people all the time. Once you know now, you can't unknow.
You
After
can't
you know,
unknow.
that's it. You got to take the steps that you need to take in order to, help yourself to ascend out of whatever that is.
Exactly. Exactly. Well, Witches and Warlocks has been on for a minute now, and we went over spells and attachments with you all today, and a little bit of other stuff in between, but mainly about spells and attachments within divine cosmic partnerships and what that looks like. And so, we will allow you all to kind of ponder over what we've said. I'm going to watch the video. I always watch the video over again because I always receive more
Yeah,
information downloaded when I watch the video again. If you all want to share any comments, anything that you received, we definitely welcome you to do that. Please go and subscribe to the Witches and Warlocks YouTube channel. We are
yay.
starting to build it up. So, of course, you can watch Witches and Warlocks each episode on Galactic Honey 369 and on Blackfoot Witch, the Dream Oracle. But we really want the Witches and Warlocks episodes to just be specific to Witches and Warlocks, and then we can,
Hmm.
Galactic Honey do her readings and do her thing, and then I
Yeah,
do my dream oracle, and we still do our thing. But we want Witches and
yeah,
Warlocks to be the conversation coming together about divine partnership. So hopefully we'll
yeah,
get to a point where you all are just watching it on Witches and Warlocks YouTube channel, and then our separate channels are out of it. But we're getting to a point we want to build it up. So please
yeah.
like, share, subscribe to Witches and Warlocks
Hit the like
YouTube.
button.
Hit the like button. Hit the like button. I don't never say hit the like button on my
I
channel, but I'm
know.
saying it on here because these
Yeah,
conversations need to be had and they need to be shared because both of us are, we know that this is beyond that 3D connection and partnership. And nobody's really having a lot of these conversations about what
yeah,
we're going through in these higher frequency connections. Like, what is it? What am I to look for? What is going on? Why is this? What is that? We, like you said, we hear about twin flame soulmates, but we don't hear about ascending past that and what does that look
yeah,
like. So we need a platform for us to talk and share our experiences from the divine feminine and divine masculine, witches and warlocks perspective.
yes. And please leave us comments if you have something that you want to bring to light. You want to help bring into a conversation. Please put it in the comments so that we can do an episode about it, because we really want the interaction of everyone that comes into contact with this. If you come into
Mm-hmm.
contact and you resonate, please leave us a comment, and just let us know if there's something that you would want to talk about in future episodes.
Definitely. And we will add it on in. So I'm the Blackfit Witch, the Dream Oracle. Of course, you all know I see dead people.
I'm Galactic Honey, and I also see dead people. Okay.
And so this is going to be ongoing. And even though I'm in Philly right now, it's like, hey, I'm here for work, but I got time to do it. So we want to stay consistent with you all every Friday, 8:30 p.m. Central Standard Time, 9:30 Eastern Standard Time. So want to see you all next Friday, 8:30 p.m. Witches and Warlocks. All right. Y'all have a great witchy evening.